Yeah, you gotta tell everybody pick up Blueprint 3. It's coming out next week, right?
Oh yeah, Blueprint 3.
So tell us, so like, how's it been experience working here at Shades 45? Like, what do you feel is the best thing about working here?
I think what's great is that we have a lot of opportunity to do things that you can't do anywhere else. You know, like if Ghostface, they send me this song, Stapleton Sex, it's very explicit. And you couldn't play that anywhere else but on satellite radio and, of course, on the internet. And I think that because we're uncensored, there's no commercials, and we have a lot of freedom as far as guests, you know, it makes our show very newsworthy a lot of times. You know, I can book guests that if you're on terrestrial radio, they might say, oh, that person's not big enough, you know, blah, 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 for us to have on the show. But over here, I can say, well, I see this person as potential. And that's how we get somebody like Amber Rose, you know, before she started dating Kanye, to do an interview. And I can have her up here on Lip Service at night because, you know, that show is more of a lifestyle type of show. It's not necessarily just celebrities, but it's all about that. So I think I have a lot of opportunity to get up on things, you know, early.
No, I agree. So I mean, you once said that a interviewer should know a lot about a person that they interview. So we did our research. So what's one thing that we don't know about you?
Um, Probably something I wouldn't want. No.
No, she's telling. She's talking. She's talking. Let's go.
What's one thing you don't know about me? It's probably a whole lot.
Let's find out she's single.
Yes.
All right, guys, she's single out there. Just don't go crazy, all right?
You said what?
Just don't go crazy out there trying to get at it.
Nobody's gonna go crazy. Everybody's pretty cool with me. I barely ever go on dates. I end up going to parties all the time.
All right, cool. So a little more related to that last question. Like, how much research do you do when you interview somebody?
I try to do as much as possible. Sometimes, like with people who are newer, it doesn't require so much research because it might not be a lot. I love to be like the first person to do a big interview on someone before, you know, they blow up. So a lot of times, if it's, you know, a newer artist or a model or a porn star or somebody, you're not going to really find too many interviews. But if it's somebody that's more established, like what I normally do, and I'll give you my secret, I Google them, but instead of just putting their name in, I'll put in like, you know, whoever interview. So I can see every interview that they've done, you know, like I start off looking in the past year, see what interesting stuff comes up, and then I'll go dig back deeper and I look at all their video interviews just so I can see everything. But if it's like a huge interview, like say we had somebody like, you know, for instance, again, Jay-Z coming up, I'll look at everything and I'll prepare audio clips and all of that just so I make sure I don't miss anything.
Yeah, that's very detailed. I like that. So another question, your interviewing style is really candid. Like, where does that come from, and why do you think that helps?
I think that's just how I am. Like, I'm a very chatty person, you know, and I talk a lot anyway, and I'm always on the phone. So it's just how I am. I think that I act the same way in real life that I do on the air.
Okay, I like that, the humbleness. Keep it up. So nice. So you're from Caribbean and Chinese descent?
Yeah, my mom's from Montserrat in the West Indies, and my dad's Chinese.
So how did that influence you throughout your career, you would say?
Throughout my career, well, let's see. I love fried chicken and rice. No.
Talking to me right
How did that influence me? I don't know. I mean, I think it's definitely something that's interesting because people hear my name and they're like Angela Yee, and then they see me and they're like, you're not at all what I thought, you know, you were going to look like. So it's definitely something that people are interested in talking about for some reason. Like ethnicity is a big deal. And I know my last name makes people ask questions a lot. So, you know, I would say that. But I don't know. It hasn't really, like my family, we grew up in Brooklyn, you know.
Yes, where we from.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
We're not
All
very
right.
ethnic.
All right. So would you say is it very difficult for a woman to try and make it in this industry?
I think that there are some positives and some negatives about being a woman. I try to turn every negative into a positive. Like people always say, you know, it's hard to be a woman because everybody's going to try to talk to you and try to sleep with you. But you can always turn that into a positive, knowing that everybody's going to try to sleep with you and talk to you. It's much easier to get a meeting, you know. So you can do that. You just have to be careful, you know, in what you do. I think it's easy for guys to learn to respect you. They might look at you at first and see something and, you know, just be physically attracted to you. But once they sit down and talk to you, then they're like, okay, you know, she actually is. And they get the opportunity to meet you, then it helps out a lot. I think it's hard for guys to randomly set up meetings, you know, because if some dude calls you up like, yo, can we like sit down? I want to talk. You'll be like, I'm really busy. But if a girl calls you and she's like, hey, I was wondering if we could like have a drink and I want to just talk, and you're like, all right, when do you want to do it? So definitely you have to learn how to use things to your advantage and not to be so upset about stuff. There's a lot of people that are angry, and guys will come in the room and talk to everybody except for me, because for some reason it's like awkward to sometimes be the only girl in a room full of guys, and they don't show you that same respect. But I think it just makes you work harder and have to earn it and prove people wrong.
So what advice would you give to these aspiring women trying to break into the industry?
If you're going to sleep with somebody, sleep with the right person. No, I'm just kidding.
Holla. All the bosses out there, right?
No, I would just say that, as far as advice for women, and I always say this, is treat everybody equally, whether it's somebody that is like the head boss of something or somebody that works in the mailroom. Just make sure you show them the same amount of respect, because you never know where that guy in the mailroom is going to end up being, and how he'll be able to help you in the future. And also, I would say, try not to gossip too much. I think that's a lot of people's downfall, and it's a lesson everyone will learn. Like, there's a lot of girls don't like each other. This person doesn't like that person. Just stay out of it, And what I normally do is when people don't like me and they talk shit about me, I just say I don't know them. So that way they look crazy. Like,
exactly. You know what we say? We let the haters hate. You know what I mean?
Right. And, I think that anybody that is going to be a public person, you're going to end up getting hate. You're going to be on blogs and people are going to talk shit about you. And you just cannot get upset about it or take it too seriously. You just have to say, you know what, the more people that hate me, that means there's even more people that love me. And at least they know who I am, because you may hate me, but I have absolutely no idea who you are. So who's winning, Exactly.
So you already branched off into several things. So are there any projects coming up for you in the future?
Hopefully. I mean, we have a lip service pilot that we did for our television show, and Akon is on it. So there's been some interest, so we're busy shopping that. So I sure enough hope that works out, sometime soon.
Okay. So what would it be more towards like what you show now with lip service, or how would the pilot? What's your vision for that?
Well, we did a pilot already with Akon, and Pinky's on there. Pinky the porn star. And our girl Milani Rose, Sexy Milani, is on there too. And Miss Whitaker. So I think it's going to depend on where it can end up.
Is it more like a advice show, or is it like a show? Like a radio show, but just on the air?
It's craziness. Like, we had Akon choosing between the three of them for his next wife. So they had all kinds of, competitions they had to do, which included like lap dances and stuff like that.
Okay. And you got to invite us.
Oh, yeah. You guys got to come up. You got to sign a disclaimer.
No doubt.